up as default if you want. Now when you're working in the terminal, you're in a specific folder on your hard drive just like you are when working in the Finder. So for instance in the Finder here I'm here at my home folder level and this is where this Finder window is working. Same thing with the terminal window. It's somewhere as well and you can find out where by doing pwd, WD for working directory, and you can see I'm also at the home folder there. So if I were to list the files there I should see the same files, actually folders, that are here. And I can list them by doing ls. And sure enough there are those same ones. I can get a better list by doing ls space dash l, lowercase l. This will put them in a list format here. And you can see things like modified time, the file size in bytes. Folders of course don't really have much of a file size to them. ls is the main command for being able to see your files. So it has a lot of ways to modify it. If you do man for manual and ls you get a complete list of all the ways to modify it like that dash l that I just showed you. You can spacebar through this list and do q to quit. If I were to do ls then space dash l and also add the modifier capital S, then I'm going to get everything sorted by file size. If I were to do ls and then l and then h, then it's going to give me the file sizes in B for bytes, K for K, M for megs, and G for gigs. It's a little easier to read. If I wanted to sort it by time instead I can do ls-l and then T for modified date. So now the most recent one is at the top. If I want to change directory all I need to do is use cd to change directory and then type a directory name. For instance let's go into the documents folder. I'll start typing documents but I don't need to type out the entire thing. The real key to using terminal is not typing every single character but using the autocomplete function which is the tab key. Since I've typed DOC and there's only one thing here that starts with DOC, why should I have to finish off typing the characters? I just hit tab and it finishes it for me. Even puts a slash afterwards. And then I hit return and now you can see I'm at the documents level. Now I'll do ls-l and I can see things that are in here. If I want to go up I can do cd and then dot dot. 2 dots goes up. 1 dot kind of stands for the current directory and 2 dots stands for the directory above it. So now I'm back here. Let's go back down and then let's go into one of these subdirectories. What happens if something has a space in it? How do you deal with that? Well, I'll start typing project and then I can do a backslash space to represent a space and then A. I could also do quotes. So I could do project A. And now if I list what's in here I'll see what's in that folder. If I want to open a file in the Finder I would just double click it to open. You could do the same thing here but it's the open command. So type open and then start typing the name of the file. So for instance I'll do my and then backslash space s. I've started typing my shared file. I'll do tab to autocomplete and I'll hit return and it's going to open up that file in the default app which is TextEdit in this case. If I wanted to open it up in something else I can do the -a and then the application. Now I have to actually give the full path to the application. So I can start typing the path with a slash which means the top level of this computer and then A. And there's only one folder at the top level of this computer with A in it. That's the applications folder. So I'll hit tab and you can see it autocompletes that. I'll start typing pages and I'll do tab there to autocomplete that. Now that I've given it the path to pages, if I hit return then it will open the file but now in pages instead of TextEdit. If I want to delete a file I use the rm command to remove a file. So I can do rm and I can start typing the command. So like I could say this image here. If you want to remove a folder you can do rmdir but that only works if the folder is empty. Otherwise you need to use rm and then dash and then capital R which means recursively look inside that folder and delete everything in there. And then give it the name of the folder like new folder. And it will delete all the contents of the folder and the folder. Of course it's a very dangerous command just as deleting something in the Finder is dangerous. If you want to get information on a file you can do that with the file command. And then type the name of the file. I'll autocomplete there. Hit return and you get all sorts of stuff here like the fact that it's JPEG image data and even the size of the image itself. You can also do MDLS for metadata and this will give you a bunch of metadata attached to the file. Now what if you want to move a file? Let's take a look at what we've got here. And I've got this folder called New Folder. Let's move it into there. So I can do MV for move, and I could do P1 and have that autocomplete there. Then I could start typing the name of the file. Now if I wanted it to be somewhere else completely, I can start doing the path to the file. You can do paths with a slash for the top level directory, which probably isn't what you want, but you can use ~/ for your home directory. So if I, for instance, know that the pictures folder is there, I can do this to move it to pictures. If I wanted to move it inside of this current directory into the new folder one, I could do it like that. Now I can go into new folder and look there, and I could see that that file now has been moved there. I can also change its name using MV, because MV you can give a full name. So I could type the name of the current file, and then I could give it a path to where I want it to go and also include the new name for the file. Or I could just forget about the path completely and I can call it what I want right here. So I'll just call it new pic.jpg. So it basically is moving the file in place with a new name. If you ever want to duplicate a file, you can do that using ditto. So I can include the file there as the first part, and then I can give it something else as the second. So now I've got two of those. And you could do that for an entire folder. If you give it a folder, it's going to make a duplicate of everything in the folder as well. If you want to create a new folder, you can do that with mkdir, make directory, and you can call it whatever you want. And you can see there's a new folder there now. So now let me show you how to search in the terminal. So searching is a very important function of the Finder. So you're going to want to do that in terminal as well. So here we have two files that start with the word new in it. Let's go up a level, cd and then .. to go up. And now let's see if we can find those two files because we don't see them here at this level. To do a simple search we can use find and then / for the current working directory. You can do ~/ for your entire home directory, but that's going to include a lot of different data like reminders and contacts and such. / is even worse because that's the top level of your computer, so it'll include like all your system libraries and everything. So getting to the right directory and using / is a really good way to go. Then do -name and then quotes. You can put the name. Now if you don't know the exact name of the file, that's okay. You can use an asterisk for a wildcard. So we'll put that in quotes there and then see what we get. So we can see here inside new folder we've got those two files. Now a better way to search is to use mdfind, which is Spotlight. So Spotlight you can use in the Finder, but you can also use it here in terminal. So if I do mdfind and I do something like new pic, then it's going to return everything you could find with either that in the file name or in the contents of the file as well. Now a couple of extra tips here. You may have noticed that I can do an up arrow to go to the previous command. So I can do up arrow to go to a previous command and then you can edit it by moving the cursor with the arrow keys. You can do option and arrow to quickly move through the line. Also if you want to indicate a certain file or directory you can drag and drop from the Finder into terminal. So I can do cd and I can switch to the Finder here, and if I were to drag and drop something like say the downloads folder into terminal, it will put the full path there. And then I can hit return and now I've gone to that directory or performed that operation on that file. You can use this to get to very difficult places. Like for instance if I were to go to iCloud Drive, there's the Pages folder. How do I get to the Pages folder? Where's that even located considering it's an iCloud Drive and not on my home folder? I could do cd there and I could drag this in and you can see it's going to give me the very long path. Not only is it hard to remember that, but it's hard to type. So it's easy to drag and drop and now I'm actually there. And now I can look at what files are there and perform operations on them just like anywhere else. Now if you're fast at typing you may notice that you could do everything in the terminal just as fast as you can do it in the Finder. Some things you can do faster, some things will take more time. But it definitely is a viable alternative for a lot of people. Plus you kind of look really cool doing it. I publish new tutorials every weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out. Then hit the little bell icon to get notifications for each new tutorial.